Ah!
Yes. Ano yan eh? Maangas yung pangalan ni Laserion sa ibang bansa eh.
Oh,
Parang meron siyang parang may tawag sa
Henshin
kanya eh.
Video
Parang
Warrior Laserion.
yon. Tapos sikat siya sa isang some country, nakita ko eh. Parang very popular daw siya somewhere. Yan. Ano siya, ginugel ko siya kanina, hindi ko siya maalala right now. Natandaan ko lang 1984 siya lumabas. The rest of the info, wala akong maalala.
1984, Mike, Laserion came out 1984 in Japan, and it
Yes,
was
yes.
shown here 1987 ABS-CBN. I remember around mga
Okay.
5 o'clock ata papalabasin
Right.
right after
Afternoon
class.
yan.
So
Right.
it was
Kaya usually, hindi siya inaabutan. Parang kailangan ka masundo agad para mo siya abutan.
yes. Galing nito. This is I think one of the best robots that ever came out for me. Truly ahead of its time. Think Edsel,
Saka ano yan,
kamusta ang oh,
saka ano yan pare, tawag dito. Diyan mo nakita yun, they explored yung digital world, di ba? Parang his battles happen in the digital realm. Eh. So walang kamalay-malay yung mga tao na there's this giant robot protecting the earth against these aliens, di ba?
Eggy,
Parang
anong memory mo dito kay Laserion?
Kamute yata si Eggy.
I can't hear you, Edsel.
Edsel, I think you're on mute. Yan. There should
Wait a
be
minute. Can you hear me?
Yan.
Can you hear me?
Yan.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay. So,
Alright.
syempre nag-research rin ako no, prior to this. Kasi 1984, chong eh.
Hindi tayo stock knowledge, guys. Nakakahiya.
Hindi tayo pwedeng, Hindi tayo pwedeng
Stock knowledge yung...
Hindi tayo
Stock
pwedeng
knowledge yung
mga
ano.
thesis mates. Sabi ni, ito si Mr. Stock Knowledge, Marty Tarosa. That was a
Marty.
Tuesday schedule for Laserion on ABS-CBN.
Yum.
Galing, Marty. Hayop. Memory mo. Anong research mo, Edsel?
Parang gandam yung world nila. As in,
Right.
diba, there's the Earth Federation and there's the Lunar Federation. Lunar Rebels.
Right.
So, nagagalit yung mga Lunar Rebels because ang ginagawa ng Earth Federation, kinalimutan sila. Tapos
Much like
Why
Gundam.
am I
lang
not
yun.
surprised?
Hindi lang sila kinalimutan. Tinatapunan lahat ng garbage ng Earth, tinatapon sa
Yes.
moon.
Sa moon. It became the dumping
Kasi
site.
yung moon.
It became the dumping site. I remember.
Ito.
Kasi yung bad guy. Ay, sige, go.
Sorry, ito guys, ang pangalan niya sa Wikipedia, Video Warrior Laserion. Tapos,
Yes.
yung other, also known as Laserion, and ano to?
Video
Japanese. Ayan, video Senshi Laserion. Yun. Tapos it was broadcast in Latin America as El Super Laser. Parang agad siya. El Super Laser.
Well, Latin America, sikat na sikat ang mga robot. Grandizer was Goldorak in
Diba?
in Italy.
Tama.
In Italy. Yeah.
Ang nahanap ko lang na lahat na subtitled na Laserion episodes, it's 1 to 45. It was in Spanish.
Okay.
Walang
Angas yun.
English subs.
Walang
There's
English
only
subs.
the Filipino. There was only the Filipino English dub, which is
Okay.
Oh, you
Na
come
sometimes
on, Laserion.
sometimes
Yeah,
direct
I know.
translation, 'di ba?
Right.
Tapos walang emotion. Parang hindi pa sophisticated yung mga voice acting back then eh. I guess nanganga pa sila dun sa technology.
Right.
Siguro they were doing an economy of words para mag-fit dun
Right.
sa pagdadub. So anyway,
I think okay. Sige.
sorry Edsel. Ito yung binabanggit ni Edsel kanina na ano na siya, yung mundo dito. Siya na unified under a world government. Yun, tapos ayun, yung si may moon. Some people nakatira na sa moon. Parang parang Macross din. 'Di ba
More Gundam,
Macross,
more
parang
Gundam. Mga Gundam.
Gundam and
Gundam.
sorry, yung Macross na Cyclone, si Mospida rather, sorry.
Mospida, yes.
Di ba
Medyo
si Mospida
makipagkaganon.
may mga
Even
moon base, parang ganon.
right. And and to a brief history of the brief storyline of Laserion, if I can remember, ito walang wiki if I can remember correctly, the kid was playing a Lan Game with his friend from another country. Right? A
Sorry,
blonde
time
guy.
first. So Leslie,
Go.
time first. Sige
Go.
sabihin mo yung natatandaan mo. Minomonitor
Sige.
ko siya right now sa Wikipedia. Tingnan natin kung gaano
Sige.
ka-accurate yung natatandaan
Okay.
mo.
Okay.
Okay, guys,
So this kid was playing a LAN game in a LAN fighting game with robots with another guy from another country, a blonde kid. Tapos there was like some sort of a gamma storm or a radiation storm of some kind, and yung LAN wire, parang telephone wire nila nag haywire, and out from the matrix itself comes out this robot of his design. This kid who's a LAN gamer, nakita niya yung robot niya materialized in real life. So yun si Laserion, and he was the only one who can pilot it because siya may nakakalam. Tama ba yun, Mike?
Sandali
Okay.
Okay.
Can I
Sige.
interject?
Edsel
Okay.
muna.
Ito yung natatandaan ko without Wikipedia before ha. Ang
Sige,
alam ko, wireless
sige.
na sila nun. They were playing a game that they invented. Tapos kanya-kanya silang design ng robot. This is before nag-research ako.
Right.
Tapos they were trying to anong tawag dito? Teleport a plane. It was all wireless. So
Okay.
nung nagkaroon ng at the same time nag-coalesce yung signals nila. Nag-cross yung signals nila.
Galing.
So yung plane naging virtual, si Laserion naging totoo. Parang gano'n. So, yun yun.
Okay.
Ano, Mike, yun?
Sige.
Tama ka. I think tama si Edsel.
Mukhang teka, ito, actually, medyo tama ka rin naman. Medyo accurate din naman si LC kasi, yun nga, yung binanggit kanina ni Edsel, yung world government, nag-i-exist na siya. So, parang unified yung mundo. Tapos, yung bida dito is a middle school student named Takeshi Katori and his classmate, best friend, love interest, Olivia Lawrence. Tapos si Takeshi LC, siya yung gumawa nung online game. Siya yung nag-develop nung, as a mere online game fan, parang he started as a mere online game fan. Tapos he developed a small virtual world with his friend, David, from New York City. Yun. Tapos,
the blonde kid.
Tapos yun, they played their robot combat game. Tapos yun, tama naman yung sinabi mo kaninang disturbance, ang nakalagay dito is, nagkaroon ng, in a freak accident caused by an explosion during a rebellion by people of the moon who attacked Earth, the plane that was converted into digital information, na sinabi ni Edsel, was sent to the virtual world. Tapos yung robot ni Takeshi yung nag-materialize into a real robot. Yeah.
Ang galing! I mean, this is 1984. Hayop.
Exactly.
Diba?
It was ahead of its time.
Diba? 1984. Nag-online gaming sila. Yun yung naisip ng mga Hapon. Diba?
Teleportation.
Diba? Tapos, diba, yung sabi ni Edsel, they were trying to transport a plane. So,
Right.
papadala nila yung eroplano digitally para mapunta sa ibang place, no? So, yun na nga, ang nabuhay yung robot. So, inaresto
Ha,
tuloy si
galing.
Takeshi. Inaresto yung
Oo, oo,
bata.
oo. He was arrested as parang hacker. He was
Yan.
charged as
Oo,
a
tama.
hacker.
Tapos ayun.
pero pero
Eventually,
nagkatakata yung mga kalaban, di
yes.
ba? And
Tapos parang ano
Laserion
lang
and
eh.
Mm.
Sorry, parang kinuha siya ulit kasi siya yung marunong mag-pilot ng Laserion
Right,
eh.
right.
Hey, Francis
Kasi,
Acero!
I
okay,
remember,
go.
I remember that they were trying to figure out the robot. Hindi nila ma-figure out. So, si Takashi
Tama,
lang yung
tama.
kaya niyan. Tapos, hirap yung dalawang Earth defense. Si Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. They were like two parang
Yes.
Yan,
bottoms
tama.
robot yung dating, di ba? Si Gamma
Yung
1 and
mga
Gamma
analog
2.
robots. Yeah.
Oh, the analog robots were normally
Si
mechanical
Sarah and
controlled.
Charles. Yan. Ito,
Sarah
nakalagay
and Charles,
dito.
Gamma 1 and Gamma
Sorry.
2.
Nakalagay dito, the government forces Takeshi to pilot the virtual robot Laserion and protect the Earth alongside robot pilots Sarah and Charles and their G1 and G2 robots.
There
Yan.
you go. Si Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Yan, naalala ko yan. Galing! It's amazing. This robot was just ahead of its time. It's so sad that it's so underrated. I really feel bad that people don't really appreciate something this, for me, brilliant. It's
Oo.
brilliant storyline,
Parang ano nga eh,
brilliant
parang
design.
I don't really meet a lot of people who are into Laserion. Although I've seen the toy occasionally sa mga toy stores that sell second-hand toys. Parang once in a while, a Laserion toy would pop up.
Yeah.
Pero it's usually in very bad shape. Tapos nakakatuwa siya eh.
Right.
Para siya yung frame, di ba? Yung
Right.
magaganon mo pag
Right.
naalis na yung mga components.
I almost
anyway,
got one.
Sorry. Anyway, Elsie, before we continue, magbigay muna tayo ng mga nerd stuff, yung technical specifications ni Laserion.
Go.
Kalagay dito na Laserion, height 35 meters, weight 200 metric tons.
Woo, laki.
Tapos nakalagay dito, fist. Laserion's hands can both physically and electrically shock punch foes and things. Yun.
And
Tapos
things.
meron siyang
Yun yung...
and things,
and
di ba? Foes and things. Ayos yung nagsulat nito no? Okay.
And things. So lahat yan. Anything. Anything, I guess.
Kahit ano to. Tapos ito, beam bazooka rifle. Yan, this is according to Wikipedia, it is Laserion's main firearm, beam bazooka. Tapos meron siyang, I'm not
sword.
sure if they referred to it as such. It says here laser sword, Laserion's means of splitting foes in two.
Yeah.
Tapos,
you know what?
nagkikendo raw kasi si Takeshi. So, yun yung
right.
ginagamit niya, di ba?
Takeshi's trainer ata was the girlfriend or ka-student niya, his classmate, who was a lot better than him. Who was a lot better than him. Pero,
parang usually yun ang nangyayari.
Right. Pero when you talk about Laserion sword, which is the laser sword, mas appropriate talaga kay Laserion yun. Kay Laserion nga pangalan niya. Because Voltus 5's laser sword is translated as
Sword of Heaven.
Sword of Heaven. That was the real translation to that. So maybe it was mas appropriate.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Ito
mas appropriate kay
to. Ito, matatawa kayo dito. Yung handle daw ng sword, nakalagay, the handle can also summon a rod and a whip. Ba, pang ano to?
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Pang BDSM, pare. May rod and whip eh. Also, ito pa.
Go.
Sorry. Ito pa, laser cutters or shuriken throwing stars. So, parang medyo medyo parang...
I can't remember.
Based on these weapons.
Bilog na nagsuspend dito sa arms niya. Parang use this as shield or as cutters.
Okay. Ito. Nakalagay dito, Edsel. Laser battle gear. Additional armor gained after episode 28 to fight against Gario Sabang, a robot from the Jakku Empire. Yun. Resembling an American football helmet and padding. Tapos parang nagle-level up yung weapons niya. Hanip ang pangalan, Jakku Empire.
Yung Jaco Empire, that's the moon people, no? That's people from the moon.
No, 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 no.
Hindi ba yun?
Hindi, ito yung
According
ano.
to, yeah, sige, go.
Paano yan,
Sorry,
sir? Sorry.
hindi, sorry. Hindi, nakakatawa tong Wikipedia. Dun sa story, pangalan Jack Empire, as in Jeck. Pagdating
Okay.
dito sa Laserion part na specs, Jaco Empire na sa
What does a Japanese say?
di ba? Anyways, sorry, Edsel, go ahead. You were saying something
I think
about
yung,
the...
although hindi ko na napanood yung later episodes, no? Pero, so, there's the Lunar Rebellion, tapos may dumating na aliens na yung Jakku
okay,
Empire.
Okay.
So, yung Lunar Rebellion nag-side with the Jakku Empire.
So nag-team up sila.
Oo nga eh. So, ako as a child, I never really got to see the end of it. Kasi, 1984, tapos, kailan ba dumating Laserion sa atin?
87 daw,
87.
sabi niya, no?
87.
ABS-CBN. Sabi nga ni Marky, Tuesday, every Tuesday.
Ito, sabi naman ni Jet Chu, you can watch daw Laserion in English sa 9 anime. Yan.
Okay,
all
guys,
the episodes,
everybody.
Kasi 1 to 45 daw.
9 anime.
Parang,
okay.
it's very interesting.
Ako rin,
And
I never got to watch the end of Laserion. Parang it's one of those shows na, alam mo how they used to do it? They'll play a series and then eventually they just take it off the air without showing the conclusion. Or minsan magiging puro replay na lang siya until you lose interest and start watching the whatever they show you next. Parang kasi limited din yung mga time slots nila. This was a time na walang cable TV pa nito eh.
Right.
Diba?
True.
Or very limited. Sayang din si Laserion. I think if this robot was marketed well, it would have been, kung sumika talaga ng todo si Laserion, that would, what would it achieve in terms of influence with kids? As kids, you would be like, wow, this is so high tech. That's it. Go.
Wait lang ha. Kasi as I was rewatching some of the episodes that I found online, dude, si Takeshi, si Tommy, yun yung tawag sa ABS-CBN, Tommy.
Right. Tommy.
Kupal.
Bakit? What did he do? So,
siya lang makakapilot kay Laserion, di ba?
Right.
Tapos,
well,
the way he pilots
sorry, before you continue, dun pa lang eh. Di ba parang meron ka ng right maging asshole kasi ako lang pala makakapilot.
Kasi you're the only one. Naka-design niya. Design niya. Program
niya every move. Kaso, lilipad ako. Okay. Tataas ko yung kamay ko.
That's how he controls Laserion, through keyboard.
Exactly.
Diba? Through keyboard.
Gano'n kabilis mag-type si Tommy. Pero hindi siya kupal because of that. Kupal siya, okay. He's the only one who can pilot Laserion, right? Pero, things like, hey, I'll pilot Laserion if you give me good grades. Parang ganun.
Ano? Sorry. So, you're telling me na here's this kid, pilot siya ng robot na nagde-defend ng Earth. Tapos pumapasok
He was failing high school. Kaya, tapos, I'll only pilot Laserion if you give me good grades.
Give me good grades. Okay, the only defense.
Meron pa.
Ano ba?
Si Olivia, di ba? Si Olivia, yung
chicks,
yung
best friend slash girlfriend.
Kailangan, sabi ni Olivia, I'm going to school. Okay, I'll take you there. Tapos tinawagan siya nung Earth Federation. Sabi, there's an attack, blah, blah, blah. Can you come? Tapos, no, I have to get Olivia to school. Okay, bye-bye.
So, okay.
Life in that situation,
The Earth. I mean, the Earth is in jeopardy, and this kid was like, "No,
No, girlfriend ko.
I'll take my girl to
Bye.
school."
In
Okay, who
fairness,
was
ano,
worse?
in
Oh,
fairness,
in that case, who?
in fairness, pogi points yan. Alam niyo yung priority niya. Priority niya yung love, pare. Ibala nang
Para
magunaw
siyang,
yung mundo. Basta
para siyang si
makapit
Richard.
yung...
Para siyang si Richard sa Dimos. Parang, wala
Ano,
akong pakialam. Basta si Erica ang importante.
no, I think Tommy is worse si Takeshi.
Tommy's
Parang,
worse.
Oh.
So,
Give
so
me
the,
good grades.
So the last
Bye.
defense of the Earth, yung pinaka ano lang niya, pinaka deal lang niya with the Earth Federation is okay, give me good grades and I'll pilot laser.
Give me good grades. Let me do what I wanna do. Mga ganon. Ako lang
Pero
naman nakakapilot niyan.
what I like
oh,
about Laserion is nagmamaterialize lahat ng weapons niya, di ba? He just does that, tapos lalabas na yung gun, di ba? Parang Matrix.
Pinoprogram
Tapos,
ni
LC,
Takeshi.
apparently si Laserion pala, he had two modes. He had the jet fighter plane mode, capable of space flight. Tapos nagiging tanke din siya. Tapos yung nga, tama ka, the transformation is done by disassembling and reassembling Laserion's parts in virtual reality. As
Matrix
opposed
on.
to simply,
It's called, di ba, ginagawa niya
tama,
parang Matrix on.
Siya,
And he would,
nag-disassemble.
and God bless his soul, Ronnie Dizon memorizes yung sinasabi ni Tommy, no? I mean, ganyan, and Matrix on and materialize Laserion. Galing. Sayang
Ito,
this show.
yeah, let's just read some of the comments. Sabi ni Jet Chua, yes, he does the coding. So,
Ayop, no?
ano siya, mabilis siya
Hacker.
mag-type. Tapos,
Ang galing niya mag-code.
Sorry, Marty has a comment. Ito. Sabi ni Marty, that's true. Laserion is ahead of its time. Kids back then are not yet into PCs. So the following back then. Yun. That makes sense. Hindi pa uso yung PC, mga computers nun eh. Kaya parang...
Oh, 1984 was Atari.
Oh,
Atari
kids were just
or Apple.
Yung concept na program. Sorry, the Atari na yung isa.
It was either basic language or COBOL. Parang gano'n. So, anong programming language ni Laserion? COBOL?
Or yung
probably
yung
something
gamit
even
what was that thing they use in Black Mirror? Yung Commodore? Baka parang ganun.
a Commodore? A Commodore 64? I think it's more high-tech than that. It's probably more high-tech than that.
Bottom line, whatever it was, hindi pa siya existing back then, di ba?
Pero Laserion, we're all in agreement. Laserion is a freak accident. They can't replicate him. They can't do another Laserion. It was a freak accident.
Yeah.
A freak of technology. Not a freak of technology, which is, I find so interesting. Sobrang interesting ako nung time na yun. Parang, wow, this cartoon was just hayop.
Here's where it gets weird. Kasi, the thing is, si Laserion was, made into being by that act. Tapos nagkaroon ng sira yung I think, nagkaroon ng sira yung mechanism that made him
a robot.
into matter, a robot.
Okay.
Tapos, hindi na nila ma-replicate. Otherwise, they just make more Laserions, right?
Right.
Pero, he has the power to teleport. He has the power to materialize weapons at command, diba? At command. Literally at command.
Pero Edson, he can only materialize what he's already designed. So he has to keep on designing new weapons. He has to code, so to speak. No, he has to he has to code some new weapons for Laserion. So he can actually expand in the future.
Sorry, tama ba ako?
Hindi pa
So
pwedeng
yung itsura
copy-paste na lang yun.
Parang hindi, wala pang copy. Hindi, pero, sorry, so yung itsura ni Takeshi sa ship, may dala siyang parang, may parang laptop
keyboard
sa loob ng cockpit. No?
A keyboard.
Tama, no?
May keyboard yung cockpit.
May keyboard siya.
Meron siyang, and I'm guessing a mechanical keyboard kasi ang haba ng throw, di ba?
Tama. Ito.
Galing.
Ayan, let's talk about some of the characters. We have a list here. Nakakatawa nakalagay yung
Sige.
Japanese and English name. So, parang tayo lang yung nagsabi nung Tommy kasi tipo nakalagay dito, main protagonist, Takashi Katori. Tapos English name, Takashi Katori din. Tapos si Olivia Lawrence. Ito si Olivia
Tommy.
Lawrence, ang pangalan niya si Uribia Lorenzo. So, pwede.
Well, yeah. I would
Tapos
guess.
ito.
I would
Ito naman,
imagine.
Earth Federation and Other Allies. Sahara. English name, Sarah. Okay.
Yeah.
Ito naman, ito yung English name ng isang character, General Sylvester. So, yung kanyang Japanese name, Shirobisuta. Ano pa, no?
Sino yung kalaban yung may... Sino yung main kalaban na he has this glass face? Diba? He was the main antagonist.
Ito, Jaku Tekoku. So,
that's the main antagonist. Oh.
So, ang leader nila si Prominence, si Porominensu Soto.
Okay.
So, si
He was the main guy.
Prominence.
He was the main bad guy, no? With a glass. Never explained, no, why he has a glass face.
Tapos ito si Gyario. Meron pang character na si Gyario.
May, syempre,
Go ahead.
nung linabas dito sa ABS-CBN, they just changed everything. Right?
Ano yan? Ni-rescript nila.
Takeshi became Tommy. Si Oribia became Olivia.
Yeah.
Tapos yung main antagonist, yung
Si
sa
Prominence. Si Rebel
Prominence
Army.
became Dr. Gold.
No. That's the Rebel Army. Si Rebel Army, si Professor, Rebel Army. Si Professor Godhide, si Insupaye, si Inspire, si Eric Seed, si Eric Shido. Tapos merong Katie Seed, tapos si Rudolph, yun. Si Prominence is Jack Empire, yung si Godhide, Rebel Army.
Okay.
Ganda siguro ng pangalan mo kung Prominence ka, ano? Hi, I'm Prominence. Hi.
Yung mga
hindi ka kilala, mahihain ka. Nasaan si Prominence? Wala sa dito, hindi siya makarating, walang may kilala sa kanya.
Yung mga yung mga kalaban ni the enemies of Laserion, there were a lot, no? They're like an army of mechs. And I think they were all AI. I don't think they were all or were they piloted? Parang hindi. I think they were all.
Yes.
Were they piloted?
They were all piloted. There was an instance na nagkaroon siya ng yung kay Ricky Hunter na yung nakita niya na, oh shit, this is a living being that I'm gonna shoot.
Na-shock siya.
Meron siyang gano'n, na-shock siya kasi...
Okay. Nagka-Rick Hunter moment siya.
Oo, nagka-Rick Hunter moment siya. Pero ito lasted about 20 seconds, tapos pinatay rin niya. I have to do this! Okay, patay. Tapos after that, pinapatay niya na lahat.
Well, remember, he's a kid eh. Siguro in his mind, it's a video game.
Tama.
Remember Ender's Game? Why the reason they hire kids for warfare? Because the kids' brains are wired to win without remorse.
Pero Ender's Games, because the reason why they got Ender was because he was a kind of a sociopath.
Yeah, he was. So you're telling me si Tommy, si Takashi. So si Takashi, si Takashi may pagka-sociopath din.
Oh, guys.
It's my duty.
He was a narcissistic motherfucker. Totoo lang. Because, okay, I won't defend the Earth unless you give me good grades. I won't defend the Earth because I have to take my girlfriend to school. Ano gana.
Guys, sorry. Good news. You can actually you can watch Laserion sa the official
The
Toei YouTube
Toei
channel.
website.
Nandito siya
Really?
eh.
That's great.
Wait, I
Mike,
tried going there. Hindi ko makita.
Oh, can you link that
Sandali,
guys?
lumabas siya eh.
Guys, we
Kanina
also
lumabas
have
na
a
ba?
RoboTalk Facebook group, so please join that. We'll probably link a lot. You'll watch the show also there. It will be cut and shortened and more concise. Uh, we'll also put a lot of our links as much as we can find. And if you guys have links also, please share it with us. We're all fans, and we would love to rewatch this great cartoon. I still think it's a great cartoon and a great theme song. I love this theme song. I really love. I'm a big fan. Laserion.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And the guy who sang the song was Takayuki Miyauchi. Video Senshi Laserion. That's the name of the singer. I was able to find a live video in YouTube. I'll link that also in RoboTalk in our RoboTalk Facebook groups. So please join that.
May question ako.
Go.
LC.
Sorry, may problema. Hapon yung Laserion sa YouTube.
Exactly.
What's your question, Edsel?
Ano yung power supply ni Laserion?
That's a
Hindi
good
sinabi,
question.
diba?
Anyone know? Parang hindi.
Parang hindi sinabi.
You're right.
I
You're
don't
right.
know.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Sana may mag-comment.
Sana
Marty,
Marty and
parang-
Marty.
maybe you can call. Maybe you can find out. I would love to know the power source. He can't be nuclear. He can't be some alien technology. He was created by a kid
He was
in the
created by a
virtual
kid.
world.
Parang,
So
yeah, go. Parang,
okay. Here's another
Tapos-
question. Okay, pwede kayang he coded. He was able to code a power source, and that
Walang
power source,
nakalagay eh.
where does it draw power from? That's magic na yung dating eh.
But that's the thing. So Laserion is not the actual most powerful thing in that universe. Parang the
Yeah.
most powerful thing in that universe was the actual machine that made
That creates-
Laserion.
When you
come
think
to
about
be.
it, you're right. When you think about it, it's like a huge, super high-tech, giant 3D printer. Parang ganun yung dating, no? Like a huge,
Parang
giant
ganun.
3D printer that uses
Pero-
some sort of composite to recreate it in the physical world. That's amazing.
Okay to. Sorry guys, may nahanap ako. Nakalagay dito sa wiki1.com. So, Video Warrior Laserion, blah blah blah, Toei Animation, March 4, 1984 to Feb 3, 1985. Tapos it was broadcast in Latin America as El Super Laser. Tapos ito, in South Korea, a pirated version was made based on the Japanese footage and aired under the title Video Ranger 007. May ganun.
Layo. Ang layo
Oo,
ng
no?
pangalan.
That's saka pirated version based on the Japanese footage. So, di ba?
So what's that? They recreated it, or did they?
Parang.
Or they just pirated, meaning they didn't license it. So that means they
Baka,
didn't buy it.
I guess so.
They
oo.
didn't buy it. They didn't buy the
Parang
publishing
ginamit
rights,
nila
maybe.
yun. Siguro inedit nila, ginamit nila yung footage. Tapos iniba
So,
yung...
Right.
Yung ginawa nila sa Robotech, right?
Parang ganun, diba?
They just
Pero
edited
you-
it together
you-
to
yeah,
make
but-
a cohesive.
Pero yun licensed
For
yun kasi
their-
he bought the publishing rights to that, so he can do whatever he wants with it. Pero with this, parang pirated nga talaga. I would love to see an episode of that. Do you have a link, Mike, on that episode?
Wait, I'll look
the South
for
Korean-
Video Ranger. Ito, Video
And we
Ranger
can-
007.
Share it in our
Meron.
RoboTalk Facebook groups. Here's a question, Edsel.
Meron!
Dun, dun, dun,
Here's a
dun, dun,
here's a
dun, dun.
question.
Meron.
Here's a question, Edsel. If Laserion was, if you're gonna do, realistically speaking, in our world now, how will Laserion come to be? Would it be a super high-tech 3D printer nga? Would it be a 3D, some sort of using special nano composite to recreate it super fast?
Parang impossibility nga kasi because the machine that created Laserion enabled it to fucking teleport.
It can teleport, no? It teleports, no? Grabe lakas niya, no?
At will.
At will.
What? At will.
At every code, no? Teleport.
Oh, pag sinabi, okay, design ni Takeshi yung gun, tapos it can materialize anything. So, the 3D printer actually made a 3D printer in the form of a robot that can teleport.
Hayop.
Okay, so
Hayop.
that has no known power source that can power itself, and that
Doesn't make sense.
all ang ano lang niya is yung stupidity nitong si Takeshi na medyo kupal. Yung imagination na lang ng tao yung ano eh.
Okay, bawat move ba ni Laserion, was it pre-planned or every time he moves he would code it there
Yes.
instantly? He was that fast.
Yes.
Kinocode niya.
Holy crap. So that ganun gumalaw
Diba
si
nga yung
Laserion.
ano,
Every
yung-
move. Hindi siya
sorry,
wads. Hindi siya wads ng parang gaming laptop, wads. Hindi siya ganun.
Naka-macro na yun. Naka-macro na, I think. Naka-macro.
Kaya ano eh, lagi lang
Naka-fast.
as I was
Sorry,
looking
Mike,
through, as I was looking through some episodes sa YouTube, talagang laging prominent yung naggaganon even sa opening theme. They were
Right, that's true.
may emphasis na he's coding while yung pagpilot niya ng robot was through that keyboard, di ba?
Walang ganito, walang ganyan. He was always continuously typing. Does he move Laserion using arrow keys? Malamang hindi, no? It wasn't moving through arrow keys. He wasn't using the arrow key of a keyboard na parang example, parang ganito.
LC.
Wala siyang ganitong arrow keys na ginaganon-ganon niya. Yeah, Mike.
LC, hold on. May sinabi
Yeah.
si TF Teddy. Sabi niya,
Teddy.
going back to Takeshi being kind of a jerk, nakalagay dito. He uses his image being the pilot of Laserion to pick up chicks. So, meron na siyang love interest sa si Olivia. Nang chicks na siya.
True,
Yeah.
dude. May episode na na
Spectral
sinasabi
saber.
niya,
What is this? Sabi ni Teddy, pangalan ng sword, Spectral Saber. Medyo astig yung
Spectral
tunog
saber.
nila.
I like the sound of it, yeah.
For the ABS-CBN
The version, okay.
thing.
Okay.
The version of Spectral Saber.
Not bad na rin. Not bad na rin yung Spectral Saber.
That sounds a lot better than Laser Sword. Laser Swords really sound so
diba?
cheesy for me.
Diba?
Even kay Voltus 5, when you think about it, it's not even made of laser. So parang
Pati
Laser
nga
Sword.
yung may napanood akong soft porn nung high school ako. Ang pangalan, Princess Laser. Yun din yung pangalan ng sword niya, Laser Sword. Kasi parang mga alien sila kunwari na nag-teleport to Earth. Dahil yung princess siya na dinala siya sa Earth eh. Pero, ipipm ko na lang sa'yo.
Sige, PM mo sa akin, please. The worst usage of a laser sword for me, and this is nothing to do with Laserion, pero I just have to say it, the worst usage of a laser sword was sa kay Luke Skywalker in the new trilogy. It was just horrible. When he said laser sword to a lightsaber, it's like, ow!
Sinabi,
That kinda hurt.
sorry, in what context?
Said it.
Sabi niya, it's like a laser sword. Hey,
No, he was
LC,
mocking
I think,
it. This is Robotalk. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Next time we'll have more people in our lives and the live stream, and like us in join our groups, and you can
Facebook,
share
right?
anything there. Facebook
And please
groups and follow us here.
Follow this. Guys, just an announcement. all the succeeding RoboTalk episodes will be aired here on our official RoboTalk_01 Instagram account. Yun. So, but it doesn't matter naman kasi
Robotalk_01.
because yung of
Yeah.
course we would prefer that you guys follow the RoboTalk Instagram. But if for example you follow Eggy, you follow me, you follow Elsie, you can still watch it by tapping on the live without following the account.
So guys, last say on Laserion, Edsel, is it one
I
of
don't
your
know.
favorite robots ever made?
Oh, this was really just one of the most groundbreaking things that I've seen. Parang alam mo yun, parang ang galing eh.
Galing.
Online gaming, tapos a robot that can teleport. Oh my God, masyadong OP yun. And then
In
tapos,
1984, in 1984, Edsel.
Yeah,
Hayop.
1984, di ba?
Come on.
Galing.
Ako naman, in my
Ikaw,
opinion,
Mike.
I think if Laserion came out mga 3-4 years later pa, or maski pag kung 90s sana siya lumabas, it would have been a bigger hit, di ba?
You're right. Same sentiments, Mike.
Ahead of its time siya. Yun. So, yun lang.
I have the
Plus,
same sentiments. I think.
Saka,
Right.
sorry Elsie, hindi ba nung time na to, medyo pauso si Transformers? Kaya,
Transformers na. Transformers
diba?
was out.
Uso na yung
Transformers G1 was out.
Sabi ni
So I
Marty,
think during.
Sorry,
Right.
sabi ni Marty, Laserion is a chick boy's dream.
Well, judging from the asshole pilot.
Parang ano yan, gaya, pare. Girls.
Anyways, guys, thanks again for joining us in RoboTalk. This has been your host, Elsie De Leon, of course, Mike Unson, and thank you for our guest, Ed Salabisames. We'll have, what are we going to talk about next week, Mike?
I think Teddy wants to do the Gundam episode. Why don't we do the Gundam versus Macross?
Oh, that's interesting.
You really want to do that now? Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Teddy,
we should do that.
Teddy will be the guest for Gundam, and another guy for Macross. Teddy would be the Gundam guy, and the Macross guy would be Marco, my brother.
Yeah, your brother.
Who's a
right.
crazy Macross fan. He has the tattoo of the Batroid. So, oh my gosh, my boyfriend is a pilot. He's a pilot. Space light, flashy. This is my fancy. All right, guys, this has been RoboTalk. Thank you again. See you guys all next week. Bye-bye.